Hello and welcome to another session of Power in Your Words with HerDomain. Today we have Amna Arif with us. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. She hails from Charsada and she currently works in the telecom industry. So we are very excited to explore both these angles with her to learn more about her journey and her achievements. So thank you, Amna, for joining us today.
Welcome. It's a pleasure for me as well.
Okay, so can you start by sharing a little bit about your journey? How did a little girl from Charsadda make her journey to Islamabad, where she now works in telecom industry?
Okay, so as you just spoke, that these are like two different domains. Someone from Charsada and now working in the telecom industry, which is like mostly a male-dominated industry. It would take like so many years or even decades for girls to come as close as men in this industry are working. In those numbers, actually, for me somehow it was like it was something that I always dreamed of, that I would like to be a working woman. I did not specifically know that I would end up in the telecom industry and I would work there, but yes, this thought was always there that I have to like work, and I would appreciate my family as well for this, that they have always been very supportive, and it was my father who was always there for me, and he was like, okay, if she wants to study and she wants to go into this industry, then he was always there. So that somehow made the difference, and that somehow helped me come towards this place.
That's amazing. A supportive family is really what you need when you're making these big decisions, right? Uh,
Definitely.
You grew up in Charsada and then you moved to Islamabad, right? So I'm sure that entailed a lot of challenges, that move, then living by yourself, figuring out your studies, your day-to-day life. And it's been quite a while since you've been on your own. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how you dealt with the challenges that came along?
Definitely, it was challenging, but I think for me it's been like almost more than a decade that I'm not at home, and I have like I left home for my studies initially, and now for the job. So I think the people who are in working, who are living in big cities, they've so much advantage over us coming from small villages, because they can just go for work, they can just go for their universities and come back home. For us, it's like a, a double compromise, staying away from home, and also working very hard for the universities, for studies, for jobs, everything. And I think it's a compromise from both ends. Like, we are away from home, we suffer for everything, but similarly the parents, they are also going through it. Like, I know my parents, my brother, they every time there's something, so they miss me and I miss home when there's something and some occasion or anything happening at home. But it's a compromise that they did for me. My brother, my father, they took this stand for me, that no, we are going to send her to the hostel, and we are just not going to limit her. Okay, okay, you can just go and study in the universities or colleges available in Charsada. So this was a big decision, and I give this entire credit to my family, because if it weren't them supporting me and going extra miles for me, I remember every time I would just fall sick in the hostel, my brother would just run to me and he would take me home and everything. So I think this support system was very, very important. I think I couldn't have make it without their support. So I would just, more than the girls, I would like their parents and their siblings to support them in this regard, because girls can do it, but if you support them, then it would just get a little easier for them.
So yeah, that's true, and I think we touched upon this earlier as well, that a supportive family goes a long way. And it looks like your parents, like you didn't have to do any convincing around wanting to go to university that was outside of where you lived. But how did you come up with the idea of going to NUS to study, right? Because you lived in a different setting where I'm sure not all girls have the support to be able to make that decision and to go away from home to study. So, how did you decide and how did you come about the opportunity to be able to study in Nust?
Okay, so I think one thing that also matters a lot is the company you have while you are from away from home, like it's whether it's your school, it's your college, or anything. So I have always been around those people who were like very good in studies, and who were those students who were not the backbenchers or anything. So that matters also. So if I lacked in the opportunities, like no, there were no girls from my family who had already achieved those things, or who had went to hostels for studies. But I had examples from my friends, siblings, or them dreaming of going to universities like NAST and JIK. So I would just talk about this at home. And my father was very supportive in this regard. He always wanted me to study from NUS. So when I was in my bachelor's, well, I tried, but somehow it didn't work. So I was then I went to UET. But I still remember I was in my last semester of UET, and I applied for NUST. And it was just right before my last examination that I got selected in NUST. And I still remember walking in the university corridor and calling my father that I've made it to NUST. And we were just both like crying, and we were smiling and everything. And I just think that was the most happiest moment for him as well. And he was like, I'm so proud of you that you have made it to that place. So it was just like it was my own thought, and it was my company, my friends around me, who were also like-minded. And I still remember we were like 4 to 5 friends who made it from UET to NUST together. So I think this matters also, the company you keep with
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I think you draw from other people's experiences. So yes, the credit goes to them, but also to you for having that
Definitely.
eye, right? Like for picking out those things that inspire you. So you did mention that you didn't know that it was going to be telecom industry. So what was the
Yeah.
moment, or when did you figure out that, hey, this is what I'm interested in, this is what I want to pursue?
Okay, so when I was doing my after my matriculation, I initially, when I was a child, I hate maths. I didn't never I was never good with that, and I would actually get like anxiety attacks night before the exam. But somehow I got a very great teacher for mathematics, and then this thing, like this, sparked an interest in me for maths, and somehow I thought to pursue this. So I went for the pre-engineering in my college, and after that I was like, no, I have to take a professional degree in engineering. So this telecom was specifically not decided because back then in Charsada, we, as I even once I told you as well, that we had so many issues of the internet, and I did not have any internet connection back then at home. So I couldn't explore. I did not know what fields are there, what fields are there for women that they can explore. But it was kind of a sudden decision that, okay, let's go towards telecom, because just the only thing that we knew was that it is a growing field. And telecom can never stop, if everybody, it is the need of an hour, for everyone, I mean, for every field. So that's somehow I came to telecom, and then there was no going back.
Okay, so you didn't know at the time, and it would be, I think, fair to say that you ended up in telecom by chance, but then you were able to
Yes.
work in companies like Zong, and now you're working in Telenor as an assistant manager. So that means that you were good at it. Maybe that was something that you were passionate about. So where did that drive come from to, excel in whatever field that you had chosen, even if it was by chance?
Okay, so one thing about me is that I am, if I start something, then I have to be very determined about it. I will, even if I end up like somehow by chance I come to something, but I have to like pursue it till the very end. There's no going back for me. And I am kind of very strict with myself for all of these decisions that I take. So when I was in I came to the field, and I thought that, no, if now I have like invested so many years in the telecom industry, right? I had like my bachelor's degree for 4 years. And after that I pursued my master's degree from NUST. So like this was like 4 years of bachelor's, and then it was around 7 to 8 years of education. So no one would ever want to waste those years of education and then just sit at home. So I always wanted to work in these industries, and see that what I learned in my bachelor's or my master's, how actually that is applied in the telecom industry. We have a very small industry in Pakistan for telecom industry. There's like a lot of room for improvement as well. So that's why I wanted to work in the specifically in the telecom field and not in something else like other people would tell me that just just go towards the teaching field or anything like that. For girls it's safe and it's so I was like, no, I have worked for it, so now I would like to challenge myself a little more and see what happens in the industry.
That's pretty stereotypical, right? As an engineer myself, you always hear that, hey, you've done an engineering degree, now choose like
Yes,
a safe career with short hours. And it's hard to be
yes,
in, it's true, it's hard to be in the engineering domain, right? Like you said at the start, it's male dominated, so it comes with its challenges. But I think,
definitely.
like you said, determination and discipline, those are key things to excel in any field.
And one thing I always believe is that if you don't want to give up, there will be so many ways. It would definitely be challenging, it would be hard, but if you just stick your mind to it that no, there's no going back from it, I have to like make a way. Then even God has so many ways of making people like your support, those who would somehow be against somebody else, but they would come to your support, and there will be like miracles for you on that path. If you just believe in your own abilities, if you believe in God, and you just know that I have to do something out of it. And secondly, I would also like to say that for us, for girls, it's difficult, but it would become easy only if we do it, and then we make those examples for others, right? Otherwise, if we don't change it, nothing will change in it. It would just stay the same. And the stereotypical mindset for girls in just a few professions, that would never change.
For sure, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about the role that you're doing and to build on what you said that the industry in Pakistan, the telecom industry is pretty small. So trends are always evolving. What kind of trends or innovations do you think will have the biggest impact on the telecom industry in the coming years?
Okay, so yes, the industry is very small, the competition is very small as compared to other industries. We have like limited opportunities, just a few telcos where we can like keep on switching our roles. But I think as it's the time and age of artificial intelligence, so AI in telecom industry is also going to play a very important role. So we need to upgrade our technologies. We need to come out of the basics that we are just building up on. We need to upgrade to all of those. Like still we are in the telecom industry, but there is so much room for improvement, if even for Telenor, for Zone, for all the operators. Because I go to my village, and every time someone knows that I'm in Telenor or I have Elton Song, and they would just tell me that, oh, we are facing so much signal issues, and that this is such a big issue. And I know it because I myself have this issue when I'm at home and I have to work from home. So there's room for improvement. Mostly we do not understand this, that if there is no like a big return over investment for projects in the villages, it would somehow come only if there is the connectivity issues are resolved and the people there have those opportunities. So there's quite a lot of room for improvement, and I think if we bring up people from the villages and people from those sides, they would somehow let the organizations and the managements know that what problems actually lie in there. So that's what I think, that we need to just come out of the boardroom meetings and presentations, and we actually need to go on ground and see what the situation is there, because there's quite a lot of room for improvement there.
That's interesting. And as someone who's spent her childhood in a smaller village which had a lot of connectivity issues, I think you're able to bring that angle in, right? So like you said, you give that
Yes,
perspective outside of those boardrooms because you've lived that reality and you're still in contact with people who are living with that reality of where on one side the world is talking about 5G and all that, there's still places
exactly,
like majority of Pakistan probably faces connectivity issues on the daily, right? So that's something that
exactly.
needs to be
That
worked
that's
on.
what I think, that needs improvement, and only then we would be able to grow as a nation. Like if we focus on the major cities, already developed cities, then it would somehow lag. We would just have like two classes, and it would keep on growing like that. So
So,
that's what
are
I
there any
that's my opinion.
initiatives around this? Maybe something that you're spearheading now or thinking of doing in the near future around connectivity in these smaller areas?
This is what we are currently working on. The management at Telenor is like very cooperative for all of the new ideas that we bring up, and I would like to add that, for these companies who hold like greater cause. Not just connectivity, but they work on projects like climate change and everything. So for those people, yes, it is very important to be like open to ideas from people like us who actually are connected to those small areas and villages. So in my role, yes, we are definitely working on some projects like that, where we need to, where we are just exploring that, or that opportunities for those people. And Telenor is working, doing great initiatives for those people. So I'm glad, yes, we are working on those.
Okay, that's great to know. What's next for you in terms of your career or your life goals? You've come from Charsadda, you've been able to, get an engineering degree and now are working successfully in the telecom industry. But what's next for you? Are you comfortable with where you are, or do you have other goals that you want to achieve?
Yeah, I got quite comfortable here because what my role basically is like connected to both the managerial side as well as the telecom side. So I am quite happy with it. Like I have to interact with so many people, and my fear and anxiety of connecting with people it's just gone now. I can like talk to so many people because it's what I do every day. So kind of went into my comfort zone. But now, initially it was my father and my parents, my brother, they were just there to ask me that no, you have to go further. Now it's my husband doing this because he is also from the same field, and he is like from the same field, but he's working in the advanced version in the AI and machine learning
Oh,
thing.
nice.
So for me next is, yes, I would like to pursue a PhD degree in telecom, inshallah. So that's the next goal. But as of now, this role and similar roles in other telecom operators. So yes, I am working on both these sides. I to get back to education because everything is getting so much advanced. The telecom industry is definitely growing like fast. So the concepts, the theories that we studied back then are actually now not valid. So I would definitely like to like keep both of this, like the education part as well, and the working part as well, because if it would be a disconnect, like, right, if we just keep on working on those outdated
Yeah.
so next is, yes, I am planning to incorporate education back into my life as well.
That's nice, and I wish you luck with that. Before we
Thank you.
close, for other girls who are maybe in Charsadda or maybe in other smaller villages across Pakistan, any message that you have, any advice on them wanting to enter telecom industry or just breaking the glass ceiling, challenging the stereotypes that are around girls' education, girls pursuing careers, any words of wisdom that you would like to share with them?
I would just like to say one thing, that to everyone, there would be downfalls, they would get disheartened and everything. But if I reflect on my journey, I think there's so much more to achieve. But at what point, at what position I am currently, while I was working, I was studying, I never thought I would ever be able to sit on such a platform and talk about my journey. Like if we are speaking today, that means I have achieved a little bit in my life that has
Mhm.
that is a, like, I can talk about it, I can speak about it. So I would just say that just don't give up. Every other person would definitely talk about you. They would say things like that you cannot do it. But if you just stay determined, and you just uh, keep on like interacting with people, like-minded people who have already made it, you would definitely go further, and there's no limit. My father used to tell me this, that sky is the limit, and I think we definitely can go beyond that. So just keep doing it, and if your instincts, your sixth sense tells you that you can, then definitely you can. So distractions would be there, difficulties would be there, but I think trust in God's plan and your own abilities. This is the thing that would take you to places.
That's great advice. And I think in your case, your family, just like you mentioned, your father again, they were pretty supportive of the ideas that you had or the plan that you had for yourself that helped you achieve everything you have. So thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. And thank you for that great advice. And I wish you luck with
Pleasure.
all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.